Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me for day 4 of the Christmas card series. So for today's card, I am using Peanut Butter Cluster Basil cardstock as my base, and now I'm using some Making Memories Twinkle paper. It's this musical score type pattern paper, which I thought was really pretty and a great Christmas color. So I actually didn't cut it down lengthwise. I kind of was trying to decide where I wanted it to be, so I placed the adhesive, and once I decided where I wanted it to be, then I placed it down and then I took it to my paper trimmer and cut it down. Next, I knew I wanted to add a gold strip, so I cut a little bit of the same basil cardstock and inked it up with some Versamark ink, and used some gold embossing paste or embossing powder on it and heat set that to get my gold line that would match my sentiment. So while I had my embossing paste or my embossing powders out, I decided to also emboss my sentiment. So my sentiment came from the My Mind's Eye Winter Wonderland stamp set. And it also includes the other stamps that I'm going to be using later as well. So once I had it stamped down, I heat set that, and you get a really pretty gold, which stands out nicely against the red cardstock. So once I had that adhered, I went to the next stage of the card. So using that same Winter Wonderland stamp set, it includes 3 Christmas trees. So I decided I was going to stamp these 3 trees in 3 different colors. So I used 2 Stampin' Up! Greens and 1 Memento Luxe green. Once I had all of these trees stamped out, it was time to start assembling. You'll notice here that I had a previous trial on this cardstock of a different idea for a card that didn't work out quite the way I wanted to, but I knew I would be covering it up, so I just went ahead and used it again. So once I stamped all the trees, now it was time to fussy cut them and place them onto my card. So I did all 3 trees, and then I kind of played around with the arrangement of how I wanted the trees to be laid out, which tree I wanted to be in the front, and you'll see that I actually stamp it different. I actually adhere it differently from the way I have it currently laid out. So the next part was for me to adhere my previously made gold strip, and I did that using some multi-medium matte on the backside of that cardstock, and then I just adhered that down. Once my gold strip was in place, then it was time to adhere my trees. So I just used some foam adhesive and just cut that down so that it could be hidden by my trees. When I actually go to adhere the trees, I decided that I wanted to have a little bit of a layered look. So the first tree that I adhere using foam adhesive. The subsequent tree, I'm going to adhere directly onto the card base. And then my final tree will be half adhered to the raised tree and half adhered using foam adhesive to the flat tree. So you'll see me do that here. This is the tree that's going to be completely flat on the card base, and I thought it gave it some nice interest and kind of stagger the heights of the trees and still get some dimension out of it. So you'll notice now that I've decided to put the skinny tree in the middle, and overall I liked how that look appeared. So next I decided that the Christmas trees had some stars on the top of them, but I wanted to make them gold stars, and the stamp set came with a gold star that was about the right size. So I stamped that out 3 times and embossed it using my same gold embossing powder. And then once I heat set the embossing powder, I fussy cut those stars out and adhered them to each of the trees using some multimedia mat. So you see me here just kind of positioning them and trying to get them to perfectly cover the existing star and line up on the card base. Once the gold stars were adhered, the final touch to my card was I decided to round the bottom corners of the card. Just to add a little interest, I hadn't done that on a card in a while, and that pretty much makes my card for today. So this is day 4 of my Christmas card series, and please stop by and join me for the remaining days of the card series. Thanks everyone. Bye.